In today's world, we rely on electric heaters, gas furnaces, and smart thermostats to keep warm. But have you ever asked yourself, what if all of that suddenly stopped working? What if you had no power, no fuel, and the winter chill started creeping into your home? It sounds like a worst-case scenario, but it's a reality that many people around the world are starting to prepare for. And here's the secret. Our ancestors already figured it out. Long before modern technology, people used clever, simple, and surprisingly effective heating systems to survive even the coldest winters. In this video, we'll uncover 10 forgotten DIY heating systems that might just save your life, or at least help you cut down your heating bills. These systems are more than just creative, they're time-tested, cost-effective, and in many cases, easy to build with basic tools and materials. Whether you're prepping for a grid-down scenario, living off-grid, or just looking to reduce your energy bills, these methods will blow your mind. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our practical off-grid survival content. Let's get into it. 1. Rocket mass heaters. Tiny fire, massive heat. Rocket mass heaters are one of the most efficient wood-burning systems ever invented. They were designed to create intense heat using a small amount of fuel, usually thin sticks, branches, or even scrap wood, by forcing a super hot burn inside a narrow, insulated combustion chamber. This chamber reaches such high temperatures that the wood burns almost completely, producing little to no smoke once it's fully heated. That's a huge win for both efficiency and air quality. But what really sets rocket mass heaters apart is the mass component. After combustion, the extremely hot gases are directed through a series of horizontal flues embedded in a thermal mass, typically a long bench, wall, or bed structure made from cob, a mix of clay, sand, and straw, stone, or brick. This mass absorbs the heat like a sponge, then slowly releases it for up to 12 to 16 hours, long after the fire has gone out. People living off-grid or in remote cabins swear by rocket mass heaters because they use up to 90% less wood than a conventional fireplace or wood stove. A well-built rocket heater can keep an insulated cabin warm all night using just a few armfuls of twigs. And because the burn is so complete, there's very little ash or creosote buildup. The beauty of these systems is that they can be DIY built. With some fire bricks, an old steel barrel, stovepipe, and cob mix, you can build one for under $200. They may look unconventional, even a bit medieval, but don't let their rustic appearance fool you. These heaters are low maintenance, nearly smoke-free, and incredibly effective at converting minimal fuel into long-lasting warmth. Plus, you can shape the mass into usable furniture like a warm bench, which adds even more practicality to the design. In colder regions where heating fuel is scarce or expensive, rocket mass heaters are proving to be a revolutionary solution. They're also gaining popularity in eco-villages and homesteading communities that prioritize sustainability and energy independence. Once you've sat on a toasty cob bench in midwinter that hasn't seen a flame in 10 hours, it's hard to go back to regular heating. Second, masonry heaters. Europe's ancient thermal battery, popular across Scandinavia, Germany, and Eastern Europe. Masonry heaters were the centerpiece of old-world homes for centuries. These massive brick or stone structures are more than just beautiful, they're a marvel of passive heat engineering. A masonry heater works by burning a short, high-temperature fire, usually just for 1.5 to 2 hours, inside a small, well-insulated combustion chamber. The intense heat is not released directly into the room, but instead absorbed into the massive stone or brick structure surrounding the chamber. That stone body, made of materials like soapstone, fire brick, or even ceramic tile, acts as a thermal battery. After the fire burns out, the dense mass continues to radiate heat evenly and gently for 12 to 24 hours, keeping a space warm without the need to constantly feed the fire or manage airflow. Unlike fireplaces, which lose a large portion of their heat up the chimney, masonry heaters are designed with a labyrinth of flue channels inside the structure. This flue system extracts and stores every last bit of heat before letting any smoke exit through the chimney. The result? Near total energy efficiency. While masonry heaters require more space and must be built on a strong foundation due to their weight, they're remarkably low maintenance and long lasting. In Finland, it's common to find 100-year-old heaters still being used every winter. These aren't just heating units, they're multifunctional. They can cook food, dry clothes, and even include built-in oven chambers for baking bread. In some traditional Russian and Estonian homes, people even sleep on top of the heater platform to stay warm during freezing nights. Masonry heaters may not be cheap to build, often costing a few $1,000s if done professionally, but they pay for themselves over decades of use. With no need for electricity, constant fire tending, or frequent wood hauling, they offer an elegant, time-tested alternative to modern heating systems, especially as energy costs continue to rise globally. 3. Kerosene heaters. Vintage heat with modern potential. Once a staple in American households during the early 1900s, kerosene heaters provided dependable heat in rural homes and urban apartments alike, especially before electric and gas systems became widespread. They're small, portable, and surprisingly efficient, making them ideal for temporary or emergency heating. While many people view them as outdated or unsafe, the reality is that with a bit of care and know-how, they still work and work well. Today's kerosene heaters are much improved. Many come with automatic shutoff features, tip-over protection, and carbon monoxide sensors. But even older models or DIY designs can be refurbished for reliable off-grid warmth. A basic gravity-fed wick heater can be built using a metal can, like a paint can, cotton or fiberglass wick, a vent cap, and a small tank. It's surprisingly effective and inexpensive. These heaters shine in situations where electricity is unavailable or unreliable, like during winter storms or in cabins and workshops. A single quart of kerosene can heat a well-insulated small room for 6 to 8 hours. Some DIY users even craft larger versions with stove grates for cooking or boiling water. However, ventilation is critical. Burning kerosene produces carbon monoxide and water vapor, which can build up in enclosed spaces. That's why these heaters are best used in garages, sheds, greenhouses, and tents with airflow, or as short-term emergency backups indoors, with an open window and a carbon monoxide alarm. Kerosene also has a long shelf life if stored properly, making it a smart fuel to keep on hand for emergencies. With thoughtful use, kerosene heaters offer a nostalgic yet highly practical heating method that continues to serve modern needs. 4. Passive solar heating. Free heat from the sun. Forget high-tech solar panels. Passive solar heating is one of the oldest, simplest, and most cost-effective ways to stay warm. The idea is simple. Use the sun's heat, capture it during the day, and slowly release it at night. The best part? It's completely free. DIYers have countless ways to implement passive solar heating, from complex architectural designs to weekend projects. The most basic method involves placing black-painted water barrels or stone tiles near south-facing windows. These thermal masses absorb sunlight during the day and radiate warmth for hours after sunset. A step up would be building a solar air heater. Using black-painted metal roofing, a glass or clear plastic cover, and a wooden frame, you can create a solar box that heats air as it flows through. Add a small fan, solar-powered or battery-operated, and you can circulate the warm air throughout a room. Other small-scale passive solutions include using thermal curtains to trap heat, adding dark-colored flooring or walls to increase absorption, and sealing drafts to reduce nighttime heat loss. Even trimming away shade-producing trees or shrubs can increase your solar gain significantly. Ancient civilizations understood these principles well. The Romans built homes with south-facing atriums and sunrooms, while Native American pueblos used thick adobe walls to absorb and radiate solar heat. Today, these methods are being rediscovered by off-grid enthusiasts, eco-conscious builders, and anyone looking to lower heating bills without sacrificing comfort. Whether you live in a cold climate or just want to reduce energy costs, passive solar design offers a smart, low-maintenance way to keep your home warm without burning a single log or drop of fuel. 5. Wood cook stoves, warmth and cooking. In one before modern heating and appliances, The wood cook stove was the heart of the home. It cooked every meal, heated every room, and often provided the only hot water in the house. And despite their vintage image, these sturdy cast iron units are far from obsolete. They're enjoying a strong revival among preppers, off-gridders, and rural homesteaders. Wood cook stoves are designed to do multiple tasks at once. The main firebox produces heat, which warms both the oven and the stovetop. The result is a multitasking marvel: roast a chicken, boil water, and stay toasty all at once. Many models also feature built-in water reservoirs to heat water for washing, or even rudimentary showers, making them especially useful in emergencies or remote cabins. In terms of efficiency, a well-positioned cook stove can easily heat a 600 to 1,000 square foot home, especially when combined with good insulation. And since they burn wood slowly and evenly, they require less tending than open fireplaces. The DIY crowd has embraced both restoration and replication of these stoves. You can often find rusted-out models in barns or salvage yards and restore them with a bit of elbow grease. For those handy with tools, there are rocket-style DIY cook stoves made with steel plates, fire bricks, and stovepipe, offering similar performance at a fraction of the cost. And let's not forget the charm: the smell of burning wood, the soft heat, the crackle of the fire. It creates a cozy atmosphere that modern heating systems just can't match. In a world increasingly dependent on the grid, wood cook stoves stand as a reliable, time-tested alternative. 6. Thermal mass floor heating, ancient comfort beneath your feet. The ancient Romans knew something we've forgotten: heat rises. In their ingenious hypocauste system, they built fires underneath the floors, which were supported by stone pillars or bricks. Warm air would flow beneath the raised floors, heating them evenly. The result? Toasty stone floors that radiated warmth upward even during freezing winters. This method was so effective that Roman bathhouses and elite homes stayed warm without modern energy systems. You can recreate a simplified version of this with a DIY thermal mass floor heating system. One modern approach is embedding PEX tubing into a concrete or stone floor. Warm water, heated by a wood stove, solar heater, or thermal tank, flows through the tubing and gently warms the entire room. This method is called radiant floor heating, and it's incredibly efficient because it heats from the ground up, mimicking the body's natural comfort zone. You feel warmer at lower air temperatures, reducing your need for costly room heating. If you're living off-grid or in a rural area, this system can be installed in a single room, like a bedroom or common area, to conserve energy while still staying warm. For even more budget-friendly builds, try laying heated stones or bricks under rugs. These materials retain heat for long periods. You can warm them on a stove or in an oven, then tuck them under thick rugs or carpets to create a cozy thermal buffer zone. Thermal mass systems also stabilize room temperature. Once heated, the concrete or stone retains warmth and releases it slowly, perfect for nighttime heating when firewood or solar energy may be limited. Installation takes some planning and elbow grease, but once it's done, it requires very little upkeep and runs silently. For cabins, off-grid homes, and cold floor basements, this ancient comfort technique is a game changer. 7. Hay box heaters, insulation magic. From the past, back in the 1800s, people used hay boxes as slow cookers. A pot of hot food was placed in a tightly packed box filled with hay, straw, or wool, and left to continue cooking, using only the retained heat. This simple principle of heat retention through insulation was a marvel of frugal ingenuity, and it's surprisingly effective for warmth, not just food. Here's how it works for heating. Heat a cast iron pot of water or a brick in your stove or fire. Then place it inside a well-insulated container, such as a wooden box lined with hay, blankets, or wool. Seal the lid tightly. That hot item now becomes a slow, steady heat source that radiates warmth outward for hours. It's like a thermal battery that doesn't need electricity or gas. People have adapted this concept for all kinds of clever uses: heating small bedrooms, pet shelters, greenhouses, or even underbed warmers. To upscale this into a DIY room heater, Try using multiple heated bricks or several pots of hot water. Line a large box or crate with insulating material, recycled wool, down feathers, denim scraps, or even bubble wrap. Place your heat sources inside and leave the box slightly open or perforated to allow heat to slowly escape into your room. You can also get creative by designing mobile hay box units with wheels for moving between rooms. In emergency situations, especially during power outages, hay box heaters can keep you from freezing. They're fire safe, as long as you don't use open flames inside, and reusable indefinitely. Best of all, they run on zero electricity and zero emissions. Modern society may have forgotten about hay boxes, but for the off-grid enthusiast or frugal homeowner, this old-school solution is a sustainable, low-cost way to stay warm through the worst of winter. 8. Clay pot heaters. Candle-powered simplicity. A favorite among urban DIYers and minimalist preppers, the clay pot heater is one of those clever low-tech solutions that quietly delivers warmth without requiring any electricity. The basic version uses common terracotta flower pots and a few tea light candles. The setup works by creating a chamber of gradually trapped heat. First, you place several tea lights on a fire-safe plate or dish. Then, a smaller clay pot is placed over the candles, often supported by heat-resistant nuts or washers to allow airflow underneath. A larger pot goes on top, separated by metal spacers, creating a dual-layer thermal system. The inner pot traps and amplifies heat from the candles, while the outer pot slowly radiates that heat outward, much like a miniature convection heater. Although this method doesn't generate enough warmth to heat an entire home, it can be surprisingly effective in smaller spaces like a bedroom, a bathroom, or even a tent or camper. It's particularly useful during emergencies, power outages, or for people living in cold but electricity-limited areas. Want to boost its efficiency? Add metal bolts or nuts inside the pot cavity to act as a heat sink. These will absorb heat and slowly release it over time, improving longevity and warmth. You can also use larger candles for more heat output, but always use caution, as open flames pose fire risks. This simple yet effective heater has historical roots. During World War II, when heating fuel was scarce, people in bomb shelters used bricks, tiles, and clay pots combined with candles or kerosene lamps to create similar heat-radiating devices. Even today, in places where winter storms knock out power, people return to this age-old method to stay warm. It's not only cost-effective, but it also encourages self-reliance and ingenuity, two values the Amish would certainly appreciate. 9. Soapstone warmers. Nature's heat battery. Soapstone is more than just a pretty countertop material. It's one of the best natural heat-retaining stones on Earth. Dense, soft, and rich in talc, soapstone has the remarkable ability to soak up large amounts of heat and release it slowly over time. Long before electric blankets or space heaters were even imagined, people relied on soapstone warmers to fight off the chill of winter. In the 1800s, soapstone bricks were a household staple in colder regions. Families would heat these blocks in fireplaces, wood-burning stoves, or ovens, then carefully wrap them in thick cloths or wool to prevent burns. These makeshift warmers were tucked under bed covers, placed inside boots to pre-warm them, or even slid under dinner tables to keep feet and legs cozy while eating. They provided steady, consistent warmth for hours, often through the entire night. Modern off-grid enthusiasts still turn to soapstone for the same reasons. Some incorporate them into masonry stoves or rocket mass heaters to improve heat retention. Others place them on sunny windowsills during the day so they absorb solar heat, then move them to cooler rooms at night to gently release that stored energy. 10. Pelletkin stoves. Small size, big warmth. The Pelletkin stove is one of the smartest, most overlooked ways to stay warm using simple tools and materials. It's a clever DIY heater built from items you may already have in your shed: an old metal paint can, a few lengths of small piping, and compressed wood pellets. These stoves are designed to burn pellets slowly and efficiently, producing an impressive amount of heat for their size. What makes them stand out is their portability and ease of construction, making them an excellent emergency heat source for just about any scenario. To build your own, you start with a solid metal container, paint cans, coffee tins, or even small metal buckets work well. You'll need to cut a hole in the lid or side to insert a short piece of chimney pipe, allowing smoke to vent safely. Small holes drilled near the base serve as air intakes to keep the fire burning steadily. You can even get fancy and create a gravity-fed pellet hopper, so the pellets feed in automatically over time without constant attention. These little heaters are perfect for warming up small areas, like sheds, tents, ice fishing shacks, or even emergency shelters. Many off-grid enthusiasts have used them in greenhouses to protect plants during surprise frosts. Some backpackers and survivalists go even smaller, building versions out of soup cans to cook food or boil water while on the trail. It's heat on demand, wherever you are. One of the biggest advantages of pellet-can stoves is the fuel. Wood pellets are relatively cheap, especially when bought in bulk, and have an excellent shelf life. They're clean-burning, compact, and easy to store, taking up far less room than traditional firewood. And unlike hauling logs or chopping branches, pellets offer consistent burn quality with very little mess. You can also customize these stoves with secondary burn chambers to make them more efficient or add insulation around the can for longer heat retention. In survival situations, where every bit of energy counts, this kind of efficiency can make all the difference. Best of all, the design is endlessly adaptable. You can scale it up or down depending on your needs, or even connect it to a small heat exchanger to warm water or circulate air. In short, the pellet-can stove is a forgotten gem, low-tech, budget-friendly, and powerful enough to get you through cold nights when the grid goes down. With a little ingenuity and a few scraps of metal, you can build a compact heater that could be the key to comfort or survival when winter hits hard. So there you have it, 10 forgotten DIY heating systems that help generations survive long, brutal winters without electricity or modern tech. These systems prove that staying warm doesn't have to mean sky-high bills or dependence on the grid. Whether you want to prepare for emergencies, reduce your energy usage, or just reconnect with practical, time-tested wisdom, these methods offer real solutions. In a world growing more uncertain with every passing winter, unstable power grids, rising fuel prices, and unpredictable weather, it's more important than ever to be ready. These old-school heating systems may not be fancy, but they work. And more than that, they give you control, independence, and peace of mind. You don't need to wait for a disaster to start preparing. You can build, test, and adapt now, so when the snow starts falling and the temperatures drop, you'll already be one step ahead. You'll be self-reliant, warm, and confident in your ability to thrive when others are scrambling. Which one would you try first? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a video packed with forgotten knowledge, smart DIYs, and off-grid survival tips. Stay warm out there and stay ready. Your ancestors did it without electricity, and so can you.